So the state of Tennessee passed a new law, which flips a huge middle finger at the ATF and the NFA by removing state level regulation of SBRs. And this does it in a way that actually may become very important when the ATF tries to introduce their new rule banning pistol braces. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think the NFA needs to be done away with, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I'll leave a link to them down in the details section. How's it going, everyone? My name is Anthony Miranda. I am a licensed practicing attorney in the state of California with an emphasis on Second Amendment rights. I've been part of Second Amendment litigation both at a state level and a national level while serving as a staff attorney with the Firearms Policy Coalition legal team. My goal with these videos is not to provide you any legal advice, but instead to help you understand the inner workings of Second Amendment litigation. As I mentioned in the intro, in this video, we're going to be talking about a pro-Second Amendment law which passed in Tennessee and went into effect in July. The law originated out of a bill called SB 2628, which makes SBRs and short-barreled shotguns also legal to possess, manufacture, sell, and transport at a state level in the state of Tennessee. And this law that Tennessee passed may become even more important with the looming ATF rule, which will regulate any firearm or any AR or AK pistol with a brace attached to it as an actual SBR. One of the major aspects of SB 2628 was that it removed the ability of state law enforcement from using a prior Tennessee criminal code to prosecute someone for having and possessing an SBR. This law aims to do something similar to what we've seen other states like the state of Texas do with their whole suppressor laws. If you're not familiar, the state of Texas and other states have passed laws which allow residents to essentially possess, manufacture, sell, and buy suppressors that are exclusively made within the state and remain within the state of Texas. In a similar way, the Texas suppressor law removed local law enforcement ability to go after people who were in possession of exclusively made in Texas suppressors. This Tennessee law aims to do something similar, but instead it targets the legal possession of short-barreled rifles and also short-barreled shotguns. The bill itself that passed is very short, and it simply states that the Tennessee Code annotated section 39-17-1302 is amended by deleting subdivision A4 in its entirety. Then it simply states that the act takes effect on July 1st of 2022. So what code was actually deleted under this bill? Well, the Tennessee Code section 39-17-1302A4 is a law that stated that a person commits an offense if they intentionally or knowingly possess, manufacture, transport, repair, or sell a short-barreled rifle or shotgun. So that section of the Tennessee Code references that it's a criminal offense under state law to possess, sell, or transfer short-barreled shotguns or short-barreled rifles within the state of Tennessee. However, caveat to that, the Tennessee Code also includes defenses that someone can actually bring up to prevent being prosecuted under that section that we just mentioned. There is an exemption that if a person acquires or possesses an SBR or an SBS in full compliance with the requirements outlined by the NFA, then it's legal and the person has an affirmative defense and can be protected from prosecution in the state of Tennessee. This law, however, and the passing of SB 2628 went ahead and deleted sections A4 from that Tennessee criminal code. That means that the language stating that it is a crime to possess, manufacture, transport, repair, or sell an SBR and SBS was deleted from the criminal code in the state of Tennessee. However, as most of us are aware, the NFA makes the possession of an SBR or an SBS legal only if a firearm is first registered with the federal government and also if you pay that $200 tax stamp. That means that although the state of Tennessee went ahead and removed some of the SBR language from their state level restrictions, there is still that overarching federal laws and those federal regulations under the NFA, and the state and federal agencies may likely still go after you and will still try to prosecute you under those general federal laws because those will still apply. It's important to note with all these types of state laws that are getting passed that the ATF has taken the firm position that despite the state level actions, they will still prosecute state residents under federal law, and you will still be subject to those federal laws as well. As we saw in the state of Texas after they passed the suppressor freedom law, the ATF sent out an overarching letter to all gun stores, to all residents, indicating that the ATF will still go after people who are violating the NFA and the GCA, despite what the state of Texas passed with that suppressor freedom law. And there's no doubt that the ATF would do the same in the state of Tennessee with the whole SBR laws. So really this ended up being more of a symbolic move. However, when it was first passed, it may have been a little bit more symbolic, but it's gonna grow a little bit more importance with the upcoming pistol brace rule that the ATF intends to drop before the end of this year. If you're not aware, the ATF plans to introduce a new rule where essentially any AR or AK pistol with a brace on it, brace attached to it, will likely now be considered to be an SBR and therefore will be subject to the NFA's restrictions, including that registration and taxation. Currently, the ATF has indicated that they have finalized that pistol brace rule and that it's been submitted to the White House and to the Biden administration for approval. So we anticipate that it will drop here very soon. Because of that rule and the ATF's regulation of SBRs, that's going to grow much more in importance, and it's likely going to impact even more gun owners than it ever has before. Millions of people are in possession of AR and AK pistols, these type of styled pistols that also have a brace attached to them. And under this ATF new rule, they want to treat all those firearms, all those devices to actually be SBRs. And overnight, they're going to become SBRs essentially through a point system. And likely a lot of people will face felony charges if they don't adhere to what that ATF new rule says. We don't know what fully that's going to look like, but all indications are that you will have to register them with the ATF because they're going to say that they're SBRs. They've mentioned that they may have an amnesty period, but again, what that will look like, we don't know. This new law in Tennessee, although symbolic right now, shows that many states are likely more than willing to resist the ATF and that new rule against pistol braces. I would not be surprised if after the new rule hits on pistol braces, that more states will adopt similar types of laws like they just did here in the state of Tennessee with the SBR law and with the Texas suppressor law, where the states will now take the position and argue that the state at a state level is going to remove the restrictions on these items and essentially put it exclusively on the federal government to do something about the regulation of these items. And there could be more aggressive bills. Like I mentioned, this one in Tennessee is not very aggressive, doesn't have a ton of teeth in it, but I could see down the road, once the pistol brace rule hits, Tennessee going back in, beefing up this law, passing more bills, and other states doing something similar to, again, what the state of Texas did with their suppressor freedom law. I would not be surprised if by the end of next year, we look back at the Texas suppressor law and also this SBR law in the state of Tennessee and consider them kind of that first wave of state resistance against the ATF and the NFA. But for now, if you're in the state of Tennessee, don't jump the gun. Don't think that it's good to go to just do whatever you want with SBRs. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Again, not legal advice. But just remember that this Tennessee law does not remove those overarching federal laws. It does not remove that NFA taxation. It does not remove the NFA registration. But it is a state saying that they're going to, at least at a state level, remove some of their restrictions. But regardless, I still think this is a really interesting attempt by a state to essentially flip the bird at the ATF and the NFA. And I think we will see even more of that, like I mentioned, when the ATF decides to drop that new rule on pistol braces. I suspect that there's going to be a lot of state level laws that try to protect their residents from these overreach by the ATF because, like I've said, the ATF has engaged in a lot of conduct. They are very much overreaching. They are trying to legislate at an executive level, which they do not have the authority to do. And that's just evidenced by them dropping the frames of receiver rule this year. Then they're going to proceed forward with the pistol brace rule. They're trying to regulate homemade suppressors even more aggressive. They're going after triggers, treating them to be machine guns. So I think even more so, the states are going to start getting more involved with this, especially the ones that lean very pro-gun. They're going to start to pass more and more bills like this one in the state of Tennessee. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Algor's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of 2A news. As always, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation is built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.